Today I'd like to ask the question, why are new Sonicare toothbrushes such garbage, and why am I on my second, technically third replacement for the same toothbrush? The story goes back to the early 1990s. Sonicare was launched in 1992, doing something that had never been done before in the industry, using a so-called piezoelectric multimorph transducer invented in the 1980s. When I was growing up in the 90s, we used these Sonicare toothbrushes that took the E-series toothbrush heads. They were great, reliable, and they lasted forever despite the abuses that children can put their things through. The toothbrush heads were kind of chunky, but this was for a good reason. The heads themselves contained the magnets that were vibrated by the onboard electronics. The toothbrush itself, the handle, had no moving parts at all, aside from that little button. If you held it up to your ear with it turned on, you could hear the faint sound of the electronics oscillating at well over 30,000 oscillations per minute. Well, that's at least how fast the new ones work, since I couldn't find much definitive information on the old style ones. This, in my opinion, was the best part of the old system. The handle had 0 parts to break. If you broke something, it was going to be on the toothbrush head, which you could just simply replace. These days, the Sonicare kits you see in stores now utilize a more modern-looking design. It is indeed smaller and uses better, more modern batteries. Regardless of which model you get, there's a single prong onto which you slide a W3, G3, C3, or other style toothbrush head. However, this design comes with a number of flaws that, in my opinion, were specifically engineered to make consumers replace the handles at a higher rate, despite the cheaper heads. First, let's look at the attachment mechanism. The heads slide onto the handle's prong using friction and friction only. There's no detent, no clasp, and no screw. Friction only. Compare that to the old style, where the heads screwed firmly onto the handle to create a coupling that was consistent each and every single time. The new design relies on the user to slide the head onto the prong at exactly the right length, leaving the user unsure whether it's correctly installed. The head can slide loose over time or even pop right off if it gets loose enough. Second, let's look at the failure mode for the heads. The heads themselves rarely seem to mechanically fail due to their simplicity, and why would they? There's almost nothing to break. This is the exact opposite of what should be true. Instead, what we get is a long prong protruding from the handle on a flexible mount that is highly prone to failure. That brings me to the biggest issue with these toothbrush handles, the prong, or the shaft, which is basically destined to break. The only solution is to buy a new one or get a warranty replacement if you were lucky enough to have it break within 2 years of first buying it. You can look up video after video after video on the internet of people just hacking apart their toothbrushes to fix the loose shaft problem. These toothbrushes are not user serviceable. Any attempt to get in through the bottom results in permanently deforming the plastic gasketed plate that holds the electronics in. And to be frank, nobody should be opening these up. In my case, I called Philips customer service, who took the information from the toothbrush handle, as well as my original date of purchase. And to their credit, they sent me a new replacement. But as it turns out, the replacement they sent me was the wrong model, and they sent me a low-feature USB-powered model with basically 0 settings on it. This did not match what I bought at Costco, so I called them back, and they confirmed that they were supposed to have sent me the one that matched or exceeded the features of the broken one. So they sent me a proper model. And unfortunately, the one that they sent me was defective right out the gate. It vibrated horrendously with any pressure on the toothbrush head at all. I tried multiple heads to see if the problem was in fact one of the heads, and you guessed it, it was not. It was the prong mechanism that was faulty. So after calling Philips again, a third time, the third one is now on its way. At least the customer service continues to honor the warranty period for the original set, and the expiration for that one is actually approaching pretty quickly. They did extend it by 6 months. So here we are in 2024 with yet another company that has doubled down on continuing to create devices with known failure points, inferior to a prior design. And in the name of what exactly? I mean, sure, I suppose that eliminating magnets from disposable toothbrush heads is better for the environment, but it's hardly incumbent on for-profit companies to prioritize the environment over their profits. So it's about profits. With the miniaturization of electronics in the last 30 years, I have no doubt that Philips could make a more reliable design that is just as sleek as what they make now. In this case, it seems like they just want you to keep buying new toothbrush heads. So what can we really do about this? Well, the next time you're faced with a product that seems like it's just designed to fail, don't accept that as the norm. Consider alternatives, support companies that prioritize durability, and most importantly, let companies know when their products aren't meeting your expectations. Remember, planned obsolescence only works if we keep playing along. So let's start pushing back. Post about it online, make videos, make phone calls, contact these companies, and most importantly, vote with our wallets for products that are built to last.